Hello, this is Anjana Meenakshi for the News Minute. Less than a week ago, Vijayawada, the de facto capital of Andhra Pradesh, was devastated by floods. Since then, a lot of questions have been raised. What is the state government doing? What is the loss of life? How much will be spent on repairing the roads and repairing infrastructure? Will the union government assist or not? But one important question has been buried under all of this. Why did the floods happen? What is the science behind this? And what could have been done to prevent this from happening? In this interview with Dr. N Sridharan, I try to explore exactly these questions and he tries to provide us with some useful answers. Thank you so much for joining us. The first thing I wanted to ask you is about I spoke to a lot of people in Krishna Lanka, in Ajit Singh Nagar areas of Vijayawada. For those who don't know of these areas, these are the lower lying areas of Vijayawada and heavily populated by a lot of people from the marginalized sections of the society. And one of the things they told me is that in the last 30 odd years, they have not witnessed rains like this. The last time it happened was in 2004, and even then it wasn't this bad. So, what has changed since then till now, sir? What would you say is the major reason for this change?
Okay, can I give the historic picture of that whole
Please,
thing?
please, please do.
It's not that probably as far as disaster is concerned, people's mind is very short. They tend to forget, especially about disaster, and then they go back to the same kind of thing without giving respect to the nature. Okay, that's one problem. It's not that only in 2004, it also happened even after that and before that. Well, I did mention about it. It's a right from 1960s also it has been happening. I lost one of a friend, one of my relative also during the flooding there in Vijayawada. They were traveling between Delhi to Chennai. On the way, everything was wiped out. Okay, so it's not that it's a new thing. It's not a new thing. It has been happening quite a lot. One, some of the areas which you are talking about, okay, Ajit Nagar and all the thing. Yes, it is all latest development. Is not between 2004 and 2014 or 2015, irrespective of whichever the governance is. Okay, there has been a lot of informality which has come up in terms of construction. One. Second thing is it's also because of the there is a river. The river course itself
The
has been
Krishna River,
shifted
you
historically.
mean, sir?
Okay, if you see almost like 70 years, Krishna River. Yes, historically it has been shifting away from one side to other side. It has been going around. Thank God because of the Krishna that dam and other thing. It's a little bit of stability has happened. Otherwise, it has been the course has been changing over quite a lot. Okay, uh, on the river banks because of the shift also that's wherever the land is available is encroachment has happened. Okay, if you see again after that Tamil Nadu, I mean between the Telangana and Andhra and even before that which has happened, Andhra Pradesh itself. Okay, Vijayawada was not that popular except for the case of railways, which became very prominent because of railways system. Okay, and became a city, and slowly and steadily it has been increasing quite a lot, okay, in terms of population. And Guntur being that ITC and other thing, it also developed and joined together because of the railways and because of other things. Okay, that's one. The second thing is, as I said, the flooding, yes, it has been happening quite a lot, but with inundation has not happened that much. Flooding used to come and then go off within the, let us say, maximum 3 days, 4 days, and then it goes off. Now, when because of lot of informality, illegality in terms of construction, it has, especially I could see between 1990s onwards, it has been expanding like anything. Okay, that's maybe I don't know because of real estate, because of the population increase itself. Okay, even if you see among the south s- states, Andhra Pradesh, the population has been increasing even to this date. Okay, it has not stabilized that much as in the case of Kerala or this one. Okay, so it comes even below Karnataka. So that's why the population is increasing, especially among the cities. That is one. Second, the surrounding areas of even the Vijayawada itself, the city proper municipal corporation itself, it has expanded and all the land has been from the low-lying area. Okay, including industrial area, it has been thing it has been happening. Now, these are all sensitive areas. Okay, all these areas, Ajit Nagar and many of these areas, up to the estuaries which I have been talking about before. So it's all very sensitive areas from the environmental point of view. All these things got affected over the year, and it has been addition. If you see the remote sensing, the expansion in terms of built up area I mean, it's tremendous, especially from 2000 onwards. It's been tremendous. Okay, so added to that is that separation of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Okay, that's more of the people have shifted to this area, migration and so many things, industrialization, all the things happen. So even the agriculture land has been taken over, which is low-lying area. Otherwise, which was very fertile agriculture, rice cultivation, it has been taken over for, uh, rather, I'll put it as a
Yeah.
real estate breed. Okay, that's one thing which
Okay.
I want to talk
So
about.
there are
Yeah,
two things, sir. One
yeah.
is
Any other?
the fact that you spoke about how the Krishna river, the course of the river has been deviated, has been redirected over and over again. And earlier, when we spoke to you off camera, you were also telling us about how there isn't enough documentation to properly understand the course of the river itself. And added to that, there has been a lot of encroachment. So that is one thing. But I want to tie this in with something the Sivaraman Krishnan committee report, which was looking at, among other things, the capital construction of the divided Andhra
Yes,
Pradesh, had spoken. And one of the things they had said is that it is not best idea to force a
yeah,
lot of industrialization into Amravati. And Amravati is the area which includes Vijayawada and Guntur and Mangalgiri and Tenali as well. But it was a very bright idea to force that.
yes.
Is one of the
Mangalgiri
reasons
also,
to
yeah.
not
Telugu.
force industrialization into VGMT area, Vijayawada being one of them. Is it also because it could lead to this kind of flooding? Is that a concern which planning experts or urban policy experts like yourself are were thought about when the Sivaraman Krishnan committee advised against one capital and set a three capital formula?
Well, see, in the post-independence era, I'll put it very frankly. In the post-independence era, the only in the case of that division in terms of capital, in terms of function, it has happened only in the case of Madhya Pradesh, where the High Court is in Jabalpur and the economic court is in Indore and the administrative thing is in Bhopal. Other than that, the division, except in the country as a whole, okay, Delhi and Bombay, now it has become almost at par with each other. Okay. Other than that, in terms of planning decisions shifting to different places without proper transport network, even at the time when late our friend Ramakrishnan was there, at the time also I was debating on this issue. It's a cost wise, if it is at one place in the capital city, that what Raipur has done. Okay, so at one place, if all the things are there, the cost wise is because we are a country where it's resources are very constraints are there. Okay, financial constraints are very strong. So if the constraints comes in, it's better to be at one place rather than dissipate it into two places, three places. One. Okay, if at all you want to develop sort of the backward area, okay, go to Kadapa, go to Nellore, or go to some other place. That is different issue. Okay, they are also as fertile as these places. Okay, as Krishna is, except let's say Kadapa and other all, it's all mining area, but otherwise, okay, some of the backward area or to go to beyond Vizag. Okay, so Srikakulam or that side, it's a different. But if you're in this area and then distribute that capital into three places, that's not going to affect. That means you are adding the problem some more. Okay, so I don't subscribe to the Sivaramakrishna's thing. Okay, right from that time also, and now also I am suggesting that. Okay, one. The second thing is regarding we cannot put this thing to industrialization as a
Okay,
flooding
all right.
factor.
Why is that?
Okay, now even to this day, why? Yeah, give me the data which shows that industrialization, especially big industries, have come up in this area region. Even after that it has been declared as Samravati, institutions have come up, big institutions have come up, but industries have not come up that much. Okay, even at that time when the, I mean, first round, first regime, when Chandrababu Naidu was there, we put the proposal first. It's a, this whole area has to be in terms of what you call. You had to become a metropolitan. You had to become with the different cultures. Everything has to come. Even to this state, it has not become. Okay, if you go to a place where there is an army, there is something. Even in a place like Kanpur, you have multi. This thing is there. Okay, uh, whereas in the case of Vizag, or so, also it's different from Vijayawada. It's have a multifarious, I mean, multicultural. Everything is there in Vizag, but not in Vijayawada. One, Vizag had an advantage of big industries, right? From steel to everything, it has been there. Vijayawada, it has not been. It has been mostly in terms of rice cultivation. In Guntur, in most in terms of tobacco as well as mirchi, so what I call, or
Yes.
so like mirchi and other
But
things which
but
has been
then
happening are
again, the
related to
one
that.
thing which has
Okay,
possibly changed
chilies. Okay,
uh, before this was announced to be the future capital is there has been a real estate boom, and there is not very concrete data, but there is enough chronicling of the fact that real estate market has risen in Vijayawada, right? And is that at all a reason for drains and canals
yeah,
encroachment?
definitely.
Is that a concern for why floods could have happened heavier now? Because we're not talking about heavy rains, we're talking about inundation of floods, right? So how much of that can be attributed to the real estate boom?
Yes, you're right. There are two things which has have been happening because see, I am very apolitical
Right.
about my approach. Mostly in terms of planning, yes, I am mostly in terms of planning. From the planning point of view, if you see, the encroachments has come out all along the all the bunds, all the areas of the river. Okay, the side pipe area. Whenever there is a the water reduces, immediately there is encroachment is happening. Okay, even if you go, I still remember between 2013 to 2015, 16, where we did a lot of study in all this Amaravati as well as in the other area towards Manchulipatnam. Okay, the road which goes from Vizag to Vijayawada to Manchulipatnam, so much of encroachment happened even on that river front. So much of encroachment, thinking that okay, this is a national highway is going to come, so we'll have that. First, it starts with a tea stall and it goes into hotel and motel and everything is happening. So there is a what you call, I don't know, there is a planning decision. One planning monitoring is totally failed across India and more so in most of these states, including in case of Bangalore where I stay. Okay, the monitoring of that whole planning decision in terms of master plan and everything is totally given up. The governments, whatever it may be, whichever the government comes in, they don't monitor that whatever the master plan or other things are, encroachments is happening. Okay? And that's
Yeah.
the reason why this inundation happens. Even in the case of Chennai, it happened 2005. Again, it has happened. Okay, Kochi, it has happened. Okay, all these places, Hyderabad,
It did,
of
yeah.
all the places, it also had an inundation. Okay, so all these places, because the planning, one, the planning decision, second thing is in terms of monitoring the planning decisions. How do you do that? How to implement it? How to have that regulation over that? It's a big issue, which we have not successfully done it in India. And one of the example is
Okay.
now
So
that
last question, and
yesterday's and
I'm
today's
surprised I'd
Vijayawada.
asked so many people about this and they don't remember it whatsoever. But a year ago, 8 to 9 months ago, there were hoardings across Hyderabad which said why the Hyderabad Vijayawada highway is the new Gachibowli. And there was a lot of talk about how a lot of industries are coming up there, a lot of building complexes are coming up there, how it is close to both the cities and access to educational institutions. It's basically how the highway is turning into a real estate boom. And the only reason I was reminded of this was because we all saw visuals of Hyderabad Vijayawada highway being a complete mess when the floods took over the weekend, and the Suryapet police had to come in and had to handle the situation. Is there a separate planning which people have to look at when they say, okay, you can just construct things however you want in the highway? Or is it the same approach to how a city planning works? And if it is the same approach to how a city planning works, what could have been done to avoid the highway catastrophe which we saw over the weekend?
No. There are two issues. Yes, this is something like during the COVID, so many people came from millions of people came from Mumbai to other places all along the road.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see even Bhopal also they are coming through and going to Bihar. Okay, this is a disaster. Okay, it's not that inundation is not just one point of time, it's a disaster which has occurred, which is happening. Well, and then second, the point which is very important point you raised, whether the planning has been designed for this or not. No, they are not designed for this right now. That is, as a planner itself, I can tell that no. Why? Because of two reasons. During the planning, right from Delhi to everywhere, see, I've been in the place where I learned my planning from School of Planning and Architecture way back in 80. Even today, if there is some rain happens, the whole area is inundated. They had to go,
Yeah.
it's like a school, no?
Yeah.
Primary school, we get holiday. So we enjoy. Okay, this is the thing which is happening, and Delhi Development Authority is the first one to do this planning. They themselves are not able to achieve the end of it. Okay, now the planning decisions, once you make the planning, how much you are taking a decision in terms of disaster. One second, how you implement those decision making in terms of disaster, it's a big question. One second thing, so far not many states have come out with the peri-urban area as such. It's not nobody's plan. It's a nobody's planning. Okay, because that's what I go back to 73rd and 74th Amendment of the Constitution. Now, in the case of urban, yes, there is a system in which municipal corporation was supposed to do all the things in terms of planning with the development authority. Yes, they were able to do that to some extent. But there also all the decisions have been taken over, political decisions have been taken over. So they side away with, take away from this planning. Okay, the planning which was master plans and other plan which has been done, they have been set it aside, and then real estate came up. Both in all the sectors, it has come up. One. The second factor is that except for few states like Punjab, Haryana, all along the highway, there are certain restrictions. You cannot have the high buildings. You cannot have this kind of building. You have to keep it so many feet below. Okay, so there are a lot of restrictions in terms of peripheral area. Now, slowly and totally, NHA is also trying to bring that amendment in terms of the act. Okay, that is one. We have a lot of acts in the country. Even there are, if you go through the signals, yes, if there is a red, you have to stop it. How many of them are stopping it? Okay, there is a lot of violation happens. The same thing in planning. The regulation says, building by law says, okay, there is a thing which you cannot do and which can do. And we have Bureau of Indian Standards, which comes out with the standards that we cannot do and we can do. But how many of them the adhere to that? It's a big question. And especially when you come out with the design and the real estate comes in, how quickly I can get back. That's a main thing. Suppose you go from the airport, Vijayawada airport, to the city. All along that road, especially after declaration of Amravati, I don't even go to Amravati. Okay, from that what do you call that heart
Right.
specialist
What it
over there, that big hospital.
Hmm.
Okay, I forgot. Big roundabout. Big roundabout. Yes. So all along the road, so many constructions have happened. Right from Narayana to Fishji to everything has been construction in terms of institutions, in terms of uh, single this thing uh, houses have come up so much. Okay, or by from real estate. Who will stop? Who will regulate? That's a big thing. And I don't know how efficient it is. The RERA, which is how efficient when they are adhered to with all of WUDA. okay, or the VGMT, how quickly they interact with the interface with each other in terms of regulation. That is something which is a big challenging from my point of view. Okay, and it will continue. If not only today's inundation, after 10 years, I may not be here in this world, but after 10 years also you will see the same thing happening. Okay, unless you come out with proper regulation and implementation of that regulation, it's very difficult to
No,
adhere to
thank
that.
you so much, Dr. Sridharan. This was
Yeah, sorry.
extremely helpful, and I will be. I'm so grateful that you could sit down with the News Minute and speak to us about this. So, thank you for joining us. Uh, and that is the end of the recording. Mega, you can stop recording now.
One more thing which I can to suggest is in terms of riverfront, which I have been discussing quite a lot, even in the case of Vijayawada. Okay, when the previous commissioner was there, when I think Mr. Pandian or somebody was there, even at that time, he thought that it has to be protected. Okay, riverfront has to be protected so that it won't comes into the flow should not come into this particular thing in terms of channelizing it properly, which is also an important. I hope the
But
new
when you say
government
the
takes
riverfront
over
has
and
to
then
be
does that
protected, so
also.
far the Krishna riverfront
Yeah,
hasn't been
thank
protected by. We are not talking about one government or the other government, but you're saying that the riverfront hasn't been protected properly.
you. It has to be. See, beyond the we talk only about the bond, so the what you call dam, and then above and very near to that. It has to be the from say let us say in terms of the area of Vijayawada region, constructing of, you think about Guntur and this area one side, and the other side, even if you go, what is it? I forgot.
Hmm.
Beyond Vijayawada towards the
Gannavaram.
airport. Okay, beyond the airport. Okay, what is that? I forgot. Gannavaram and the districts which are in the surrounding district, you had to control that whole flow. Okay, like check dams and other things. Then only the flow can be properly done.
Hmm.
Not at one Krishna dam will not do the whole thing. Okay, so it has to be designed properly, and
No, no. I mean, it makes
that's
complete
something
sense
very
that you're saying this
challenging
because
and
the
it's
Prakasham
important.
barrage actually broke
Okay.
because of. So that is something we noticed this time in the floods. So it makes complete
Yeah.
sense why a riverfront has to be protected, and just leaving the job to one dam alone doesn't make sense. But thank you so much for your explaining to us where the problem lies, and thank you so much for joining the News Minute.
Thank you.
And we hope to stay in touch with you and learn more from
Okay. Thank
you on
you.
how cities are supposed to be planned. Thank you.
You're probably likely to comment and say that the quality of the interview wasn't very good. Well, online interviews are often like that, and especially more so when we're reporting out of a flood controlled area with patchy internet. But if you want to make sure that the next few videos we report on are of good quality and also equally as informative as everything Dr. Sridharan told us, then please subscribe to the News Minute and pay to keep news straight. I'm Anjana Meenakshi, and thank you so much for watching us.